Dong Dong is a charming girl who works in a small advertising company where they do their best to survive the debts to keep the company afloat. Thanks to her impressive combination of mental acuity, charm, and courage, Dong Yoon has the ability to solve any problem. On the other hand, we have Lu Yuan, a hardworking and very smart guy who came back from abroad to take over the sauce company called Peony after his mother got sick. Because of this, he must now take over the presidency of the company. He pretends to be a withdrawn boy without any experience. His reserved attitude makes some executives think he is weak and easy to manage. Meanwhile, Dong Dong learns that one of his most important clients, the Peony Sauce Company, has cancelled its contract and seeks Lu Yuan for help. Upon arrival, Lu Yuan has trouble parking, and Dong Dong gets off his small motorcycle and kindly helps him. When he sees her, he remembers that this girl once threw up on him while drunk. A while later, Dong Dong pretends to be pregnant to talk to Lu Yuan, but they don't let her in. However, she sneaks out and manages to get into his office. They are both surprised because they seem to have known each other before. She cannot believe that he is the president. They both say nothing about the matter. There she tells them about the problem, and one of the partners informs her that they will not renew the contract. She does not give up and asks Lu Yuan for a new chance, but he tells her that it is out of his hands. She offers to help in any way she can. Lu Yuan decides to contact her and asks Dong Dong to keep an eye on a boss suspected of corruption, mainly to keep her busy. She gathers evidence, and Lu Yuan finally confronts the corrupt boss at the company, presenting evidence of his mismanagement and firing him. However, despite these efforts, Dong Dong's contract is not renewed as she had hoped and remains cancelled. Dong Dong enters Lu Yuan's office, and upon seeing him in his true appearance, she remembers that he is the boy she vomited on. Afraid of being recognized, she tries to leave, but he stops her and kindly explains that he cannot renew her contract due to the lack of novelty in her ads. Despite her pleading, he does not relent, and she leaves discouraged, determined not to give up. She seeks out Lu Yuan again and finds him arguing with the corrupt boss. When she tries to intervene on Lu Yuan's behalf, she ends up pushing him and causing him a head injury that requires hospitalization. At the hospital, she wants to help him, but Lu Yuan pushes her away. But Dong Dong won't give up. So finally, Lu Yuan decides to give her a chance and suggests she talk to human resources to explore a vacancy in housekeeping. She is hired on the cleaning staff and goes out of her way to impress Lu Yuan, showing up everywhere cleaning, even at awkward moments like when he needs paper in the bathroom. Her constant presence distracts him in meetings, but eventually, he recognizes her effort when he sees her working late cleaning the walls. Lu Yuan gives her a company meal card, and when she checks the wine fridge, he approaches her and asks if she plans to drink on the job. She denies it, and he mentions the importance of not throwing up on him, which makes her realize that he has recognized her. Lu Yuan gives her a chance to work in advertising with them and tells her to attend a meeting. There they ask her for a proposal, and she makes it, but he changes it again and again. Rumors within the company that Lu Yuan had previously selected another advertising agency infuriate Dong Dong. She seeks the help of Lu Yuan's mother, who is recovering in the hospital from her illness. And when Lu Yuan arrives and sees her, he becomes extremely upset with her and tells her that she doesn't need to seek support from anyone, and that if she does a good job, she will get the contract. After working hard, she finally manages to win the contract. She and her colleagues are happy about it. Dong Dong goes to a bar with a friend, and Lu Yuan happens to be in the same place. He tells a friend why he hired her small advertising agency, mentioning a past incident where they tried to get him drunk and photograph him in compromising situations. Lu Yuan shares that Dong Dong tried to protect him that day by drinking the adulterated drinks instead, which left her drunk, and so she vomited on him. Meanwhile, Dong Dong is arguing with her friend about the drinks and notices Lu Yuan watching her, which fills her with embarrassment. Dong Dong gradually gains the sympathy of Lu Yuan, who entrusts her with the responsibility of taking care of an important client of the company. She arranges a relaxation and massage session for the client at a hotel, but Lu Yuan misunderstands the situation and believes that she is taking him to a hotel room improperly. When Lu Yuan arrives and realizes his mistake, he is embarrassed. However, the situation becomes more complicated when a co-worker sees them leaving the hotel together. The rumor that Lu Yuan and Dong Dong are a couple and engaged begins to spread, and people treat her with compliments, although she neither confirms nor denies it. When she requests payment from Lu Yuan, he coldly sends her to the finance department and informs her that he will not give her priority. Dong Dong attends a blind date arranged by her friend. At the same place, Lu Yuan comes out of a business lunch and notices that Dong Dong is there and looks all dressed up. Dong Dong's friend greets him and suggests Lu Yuan to join her date, and he does so to see who Dong Dong is with. Upon meeting her, Dong Dong explains that he is not looking for a date, that he only attended at his friend's insistence, and that his main focus is his work. After the date, Lu Yuan sarcastically mentions to him that rumors of her engagement are circulating among the employees, insinuating that she knows, but has not denied it. There, Lu Yuan offers her his coat before leaving, and then leaves. Because of Dong Dong's excellent service to an important client, he hires her to conduct a sauce competition between Lu Yuan's company and the competition. The company that gets the most taste preferences will win the crucial client's contract. Dong Dong is pleased that her superiors now depend on the results of her market research. However, the competitor tries to influence the company's employees with money and flirtation, which makes Lu Yuan jealous and worried. To clear things up, Dong Dong invites Lu Yuan to dinner, but he insists on choosing the place and paying. During dinner, it seems that Lu Yuan tries to pressure her to favor his company, but she remains steadfast in her impartiality. He loves her attitude and starts being nice to her by helping her chop the crab. This no doubt touched her very much. During the sauce test, the competitor damages the peony company's sauces, prompting Dong Dong to improvise to buy time and find new sauces. Fortunately, all goes well. At the end of the day, Dong Dong is exhausted and falls asleep on a bench. Lu Yuan sees her and lays her on his chest in a truly romantic way. That night, Dong Dong writes to Lu Yuan to apologize for the sauce incident and proposes that they relax the next day at the hot spring. He excitedly accepts, thinking it will be just a trip for the two of them. However, when they arrive at the place, they find that all their co-workers are also there. Lu Yuan is disappointed as he was expecting a more intimate moment between the two. After another crab-eating encounter, Dong Dong prepares the crab for Lu Yuan, who takes the portion in his hand with his mouth, which surprises her. She briefly considers the cuteness of the situation, but soon dismisses the idea. Lu Yuan takes her back home and is uneasy because he is attracted to her. So when he goes to tell her how he feels, upon arriving home, he hears a voice message on Dong Dong's phone suggesting a possible reunion with someone named Zheng. This slows him down and also makes him very jealous. It turns out that Zheng is an ex-boyfriend of Dong Dong's who is looking for an advertising job with the company. Although Dong Dong doesn't want to work with him because of his past, the company needs the job. Zheng tries to rekindle their relationship, but she remembers his past infidelity and rejects him. The next day, Dong Dong has lunch with Lu Yuan and tells him about her ex-boyfriend's harassment. Lu Yuan advises her not to give him another chance. However, the ex-boyfriend keeps insisting and invites her to the place where they planted a tree together in their past. He takes her there, but is interrupted by a strange call that forces him to leave her. Left alone in the orchard, Dong Dong picks the fruit, but finds no souvenirs buried there that her ex-boyfriend supposedly left her. She decides to save the best fruit for Lu Yuan. Lu Yuan approaches the orchard quietly, and she sees him. The two start talking, and she tells him about her past with her ex-boyfriend and confesses to him that she still hurts from those memories. Lu Yuan advises her to close this chapter and move on. So Dong Dong makes her decision not to go back to her ex-boyfriend. Seeing that she doesn't pay attention to him, the ex-boyfriend keeps pestering and pressuring her to change the proposal. He then dates her at a club late at night and threatens not to pay her unless she brings him some documents. Dong Dong calls Lu Yuan and explains the situation. When they arrive at the club, the ex-boyfriend is drunk and begins to molest Dong Dong, claiming that she is his secretary. He tries to kiss her and force her to please him, but she refuses. In a tense moment, he tries to hit her, but a boy from the competition arrives and stops him, leaving the ex-boyfriend thinking he is her boyfriend. Lu Yun arrives at the club at that moment and apologizes for his delay. He takes Dong Dong's hand and declares that she is his girlfriend. They both leave the club holding hands and laughing at what has happened. Later, it is discovered that Dong Dong's ex-boyfriend is married and has a contract with Peony Company. The ex-boyfriend's wife and mother-in-law greet Lu Yun with great respect and invite him to dinner at their home. Lu Yun invites Dong Dong without her knowing the destination. When they arrive at the house, Lu Yun continues to hold Dong Dong's hand as if she is his girlfriend, and the family treats them kindly. In addition, they put the ex-boyfriend in charge of attending to them and enliven the evening by singing. After the meal, Dong Dong comments to her about her ex and how he has lost his dignity chasing after money. She expresses her desire to be someone who earns her money by her own efforts, like Lu Yun. He smiles and tells her that she will make it. On New Year's Eve, Lu Yun visits his mother with some gifts, and she encourages him to find a partner. He assures her that he will do so soon. Later, he brings takeout food and meets Dong Dong and his friends. There they spend a good time together, although their friends watch them with suspicion. At the end of the day, Lu Yun invites Dong Dong to the New Year's dance, which makes her very excited, though she feels embarrassed to think of them as a couple. The next day, they go to the hospital together where Lu Yun's mother is since she was discharged, and Dong Dong feels a little awkward about the previous night. Lu Yun takes Dong Dong shopping for the company's New Year's Eve ball and chooses a beautiful expensive dress. She initially refuses to let him pay for it, but her card is declined. Later, her friend arrives with the dress as a gift from Lu Yun. After drinking fruit wine at the ball, Dong Dong feels bad as she is a little overdrunk. Lu Yun takes care of her and drives her home. In the car, Dong Dong mentions what she likes about Lu Yun, including his financial success and the food he prepares for her. He asks her what else she likes about him, but she doesn't answer right away. Finally, as they enjoy the snow and fireworks, Dong Dong kisses him and tells him that he is hers. When he wants to kiss her again, her friend arrives and interrupts them. The next morning, her friends tell her that she was drunk and was probably rude to Lu Yun. At the office, Lu Yun is excited to greet her, but she worries that she was disrespectful to him and begs him not to retaliate against her company. He asks her if she really wants him to forget what happened, but she doesn't seem to remember anything. Lu Yun invites Dong Dong to a special outing. When they arrive, it starts to snow. He notices that she likes fireworks when it snows, so he takes her to a place where they can see the lights. Lu Yun puts his scarf on her and assures her that what happened the night before was not an offense to him. Then, he kisses her, and Dong Dong remembers what happened. There, Lu Yun asks her to be boyfriend and girlfriend, but she rejects him, which leads him to go to a bar with his friend without understanding why Dong Dong rejected him. Lu Yun insists that Dong Dong change his mind and invites her to dinner, but she makes an excuse not to go. However, Lu Yun notices that she is lying and Dong Dong asks her to keep their relationship strictly working. When she leaves, he notices that her pants are stained and puts a sweater on her, then sends her a borrowed skirt to change into. When she brings the skirt back to him already washed, she finds him asleep, and as she is trying to wake up, he briefly hugs her, which surprises Dong Dong. They have to shoot a commercial, so Dong Dong and the director travel to a village despite the heavy rain. But unexpectedly, their car breaks down, and Lu Yun, worried about the bad weather, goes out to look for Dong Dong. When she tries to look for a signal, a man pushes her away. At that moment, Lu Yun arrives and sees a man running. Then he sees Dong Dong lying on the ground full of mud. He then takes her to a nearby village, and because of the rain, they have to stay that night. The ladies of the village praise Lu Yun and suggest that they will introduce him to their unmarried cousins, which makes Dong Dong approach him and praise Lu Yun in front of them to pose as his girlfriend. Lu Yun thanks him and smiles. That night, Lu Yun and Dong Dong sleep in the same room due to the lack of beds in the village. Lu Yun wakes up in the early morning and finds Dong Dong working on adjusting the changes in the commercial. He joins her at work, and then she falls asleep. He watches her very tenderly and begins to talk to her. Lu Yuan confesses to her that he is attracted to her and asks if she likes him. In the morning, Dong Dong shows her the school where he studied and tells her about a boy he liked at school. Lu Yuan feels a little upset and tells him that they have to leave now. Dong Dong stops him and confesses that he likes her. He promises to overcome any obstacles together, but they agree to keep their relationship a secret to avoid people thinking that their success is due to being together. There, he seals their formal relationship with a tender kiss. At that moment, they are interrupted by villagers who try to stop the filming of the commercial. Dong Dong tries to stop them, but the situation turns violent, and Lu Yuan protects her. Luckily, the police arrive in time to prevent further trouble. Dong Dong calls Lu Yuan out for taking the risk, but he tells her that he must protect her. Lu Yuan takes Dong Dong to his house and uses an excuse to go inside. He tries to move their relationship forward, but stops himself when he realizes he is rushing too much. The next day, they have a romantic dinner at home. They kiss, but again Lu Yuan holds back. This time, it is Dong Dong who seduces him and tells him that she wants him to spend the night with her. Our little couple keeps their relationship a secret for the time being, and Lu Yuan goes out of his way to make special details for her. However, Dong Dong's friends start to worry because they think Lu Yuan is taking advantage of her. Finally, they decide to have a dinner party to introduce themselves as a couple to their friends. But unexpectedly, Dong Dong's parents arrive, discovering their courtship, and his father does not seem happy with the news. Dong Dong's father tells her that the class difference is too big and thinks that maybe that will bring trouble for his daughter. But when the parents go for a walk with them, they notice that Lu Yuan is being very attentive and cooperative with Dong Dong, which makes them approve of their relationship. Lu Yuan suggests talking to his mother to inform her of the relationship, but Dong Dong prefers to wait a little longer. Meanwhile, Lu Yuan's mother contacts a childhood friend of her son's with the intention of matching them. She takes advantage of them going to the wholesale market and tells Lu Yuan's friend to go with him and leaves them alone, taking Dong Dong with her. The rival girl tells Lu Yuan that she always remembers him and that he has been her inspiration since she was a child. Lu Yuan assures the girl that his success is based on his own efforts and not on family connections. Later, Lu Yuan learns of her mother's suspicions about a possible relationship with the childhood friend and tells Dong Dong. Despite the social differences, Lu Yuan gives her a wedding ring as a symbol of his love and commitment. Although he has some doubts, Dong Dong decides to accept it. The girl watches from afar and realizes that they are a couple. Later, they visit a designer for a peony project. There, Dong Dong breaks a wooden frame in the designer's house, and the designer proposes that they repair it together as compensation. They spend a pleasant time there, making the frame and taking photos. Lu Yuan stresses the importance of communication in the relationship. Later, he reveals his relationship with Dong Dong to his mother, who immediately goes to visit her, flatters her and offers her a dowry. But Dong Dong's parents feel pressured by the rush for the wedding. Dong Dong expresses his concerns to Lu Yuan, who assures him that he is ready to be part of her family and live with her. So he ends up convincing her. So they celebrate their engagement, and despite the rival girl's intention to embarrass her, everything goes well. Lu Yuan proposes to her in a really beautiful way. Dong Dong faces slander from the rival girl who accuses her of taking advantage of Lu Yuan's money and having affairs with many men. Lu Yuan tries to investigate but is unsuccessful. Dong Dong's boss advises her not to pay attention to the rumors and criticisms, stating that she has always been proud of her relationship with Lu Yuan. Then, during a dinner party, the rival girl gets Lu Yuan drunk and takes him home. Lu Yuan wakes up at this girl's house and she tries to make him believe that he slept with her. He tells her that he knows there was nothing between them and tells her that he expects her resignation because he already knows that she is the cause of the rumors towards his girlfriend. After some time apart due to the pressure of the rumors, Dong Dong decides to reflect on their relationship due to social differences. But his friend advises him not to delay in resolving the problems and return to Lu Yuan. Dong Dong visits a restaurant where she used to be with Lu Yuan, and the owner informs her that Lu Yuan left notes on the billboard expressing his love for her. Dong Dong is moved as he reads them and begins to reminisce about the nice times they had together. Meanwhile, he takes a picture of her favorite food, crabs, and posts it on his profile in order for her to see it and come over. When she sees him, she decides to go to the restaurant. But when she arrives, the table is empty and she cries. But he arrives and lovingly wipes away her tears. Then they sit down to eat and talk. She tells him that she feels insecure about becoming someone with a better social status to feel more secure in her relationship with him. He tells her that he will always wait for her and that he regrets having pressured her with his enthusiasm, but that he can wait for her until she feels secure. Our lovebirds end up reconciling again. In the company, a competitor's plot to blame them for buying bad meat is solved. Despite the financial challenges, the small advertising company improves. Some time later, Lu Yuan decides to propose to Dong Dong again. So he waits for her to take her out to dinner to make the proposal. But one of Dong Dong's friends suddenly comes out and tells him that she is in trouble, and he runs to see what is going on. When he enters, she has a surprise prepared for him and tells him that she is ready to get married. And so ends this love story with our protagonist asking his beloved to marry him again in a truly romantic way. Our couple celebrates their engagement with a sweet kiss, while their friends watch with joy.